Welcome everyone to the Gary Sir Law and Life program. We've noticed that whether the economy is good or bad, scams are just as common. And nowadays, there are more and more online scams, or what we call cross-border scams, meaning there are a lot of new types of scam tactics coming out. This makes it really hard for the public to guard against them. Today, we're very lucky to have Gary Sir on our show to talk about what kinds of scam tactics are out there now. So how do we prevent it?
Why are scams increasing? They aren't new, but cases have surged lately. First, the economy is struggling. Second, traditional crimes like bank robberies have vanished. Nowadays, you rarely hear about physical robberies because technology has changed the game. To withdraw large amounts, you must notify banks ahead as they keep less cash now. Even if you get the money, die packs will stain you. Robberies still happen but are rarer. Instead, scams have increased since scammers are harder to catch. So that's why scams have become more common. But what types of scams are happening more often? A lot of people aren't clear about this. Actually, many scam cases don't necessarily happen locally. The criminals might be overseas. So does that mean law enforcement can't bring them to justice? It just makes it a bit more troublesome to catch the culprits. So that's why a lot of these criminals commit so many scams because of this reason.
Basically, they think they're invisible and the police can't catch them.
Yeah, so actually, everyone might have heard of many common types of scams, including phone scams. For example, someone calls and says they're from the police station, telling you that your son has committed a crime and needs bail money, so you have to quickly transfer the money. They claim someone's coming to your door, and you just give them the money. It sounds strange. Is that even possible? Why would police collect money in person? Yet, some people believe it. Why fall for it? Maybe they're new to Canada. They also haven't seen any official message from the police, nor have they tried to verify it, so they end up mistakenly believing it's real. They think their son really committed a crime and that the police need bail money, so someone comes to collect the cash. This kind of thing happens quite often, right? Especially now, with AI developing so quickly. A lot of things are actually fake or even non-existent. Some scams even use video calls. For example, in China, the Public Security Bureau might say that the person answering the call is involved in money laundering, so they demand that the person quickly transfer their money into a certain account. If not, they threaten to send someone to arrest them at their home. But some people actually believe it and think it's real, so they end up transferring their money into that account. Later on, they realize they've fallen into a trap. It was a scam all along.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, people of all different age groups can face this kind of risk.
That's right, but actually, it's true that new immigrants and elderly people are more often affected. Why is that? Because for the elderly, their alertness is a bit lower, and since they're already retired, they might think, even if I have some money, it's no big deal, I can help out, help others. So in different ways, their vigilance is relatively lower. But young people can also fall victim. For young people, when they get scammed, it's usually through job scams. Now, there are some so-called good jobs with high salaries, but you have to pay some money first. So when young people apply for these jobs, they end up giving out some money. But of course, in the end, nothing comes of it. So actually, people of all backgrounds and ages can be affected, but it's definitely more common among the elderly. Especially nowadays, you often see elderly people being approached by strangers, saying things like, "Hey, I have some jewelry, and I really need money right now," making up all sorts of excuses. So they tell the person, "Look, this originally cost $30,000, but now I really need cash, so $3,000 will do." The elderly person, being kind-hearted, thinks, "Wow, that's a great deal."
Feels like they sport a bargain again.
Yeah.
Right.
So, after handing over the money and getting the item, the first thing they notice is that it's actually fake. But why do so many people still fall for it?
Isn't it just because of greed?
Actually, it's really all about greed. People just want to get something for nothing. There's no such thing as a free lunch, right? So, you've brought up a good point about greed. Do you remember a few episodes back when I talked about the 3 toughest questions?
It's about their ability, their desires, and the opportunities. We can't control other people's abilities or their desires, but we can control the opportunities.
Exactly, that's right. So, how do we talk about these opportunities? What kind of opportunities are we talking about? Anyone who sends me a text message, emails me, or calls me, I always ask for verification. Don't just assume that the person calling is from the CRA, the police, or so-called court staff. I always ask for proof. It's simple. If someone claiming to be a police officer calls you, just be polite and say, "Sorry, I hope you don't mind. It's not that I don't trust you, but there have been a lot of scams lately." I've also heard a lot of advice from the police saying it's best to verify. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask for your name, your badge number, and which station you're from. I'll call back later and then contact the police station to check if there's such an officer and if this badge number is real. That way, you'll know whether it's a real police officer or a fake one.
This tip is really useful because a lot of people have no idea what to do when they run into this situation. They're just not mentally prepared. But after listening to what Gary Sir just shared, this way of handling it is actually very practical. So in other words, every one of us shouldn't think that scams are far away from us. Actually, anyone can fall for them. The only difference is who's prepared and who's listened to Gary Sir's program, so they're mentally ready for it, that's all.
Yeah, and also, a lot of times, even if you've had the chance to listen yourself, it's best to share it with others as much as possible. Because some friends or relatives might not have heard it, right? So it's necessary for you to tell them about it, because, scam cases are changing every day, so we really need to keep ourselves updated about what's been happening lately.
What kind of scams are trending now?
Yeah, exactly. But actually, just remember one principle: greed leads to trouble.
That's right, don't be greedy. If you're not greedy, scammers will have way fewer chances to take advantage of you.
Exactly, always verify everything.
Alright then, so for today, we have basically shared a wide range of really useful and highly practical tips on how you can stay safe from and prevent scams. Break time equals 0.5s/. As for what is coming up in the next episode, we will be bringing you something that is even more relevant and essential for everyone, a full step-by-step guide on how to get your driving license here. Yeah, it's all for everyone.